with how he's been playing recently, I'd almost... I can't bet my house because I rent it. But if I owned a house, I'd be tempted to bet it on him. I would then be homeless. So I'm kind of glad I don't, in fact, own a house. My girlfriend would also kill me. How's it going, everyone? My name is Stu. Welcome to my Deportivo La Coruña save here on Football Manager 24. Thank you for joining me in today's video, which is part number 20, where we're going to be probably doing things a little bit out of the order we set out last time. We're going to play Athletic Bilbao in the first game in La Liga, followed by the Copa del Rey semi-final second leg against Espanyol. Yeah, we've done it again. And if you're excited to see how we got on in both of those games, don't forget to leave a big like on the video for me, and don't forget to subscribe. It is completely free to do so. You'll make me happy. Nice things will happen in life if you do, I'm sure. Since you were last with us, it's been a bit ropey. Now, I draw your attention to the schedule, and I want you to ignore the bit at the bottom and just ignore and kind of focus on that first part of the period from August to December. That first period was a dream, an absolute dream. If you'd have said that was what it was going to be for a newly promoted team, I'd have laughed at you. You were probably laughing in disbelief as well. I would have laughed at you. Now, since the turn of the year, since we got into January, well, things are not quite as good as they were. Having said that, if you'd have presented that form to me at the beginning of the season and said that's how it was going to go as a newly promoted team, I'd have been chuffed with that. I'd have been like, yeah, sure, that seems about right. That seemed pretty decent. We've got some wins on the board. Okay, we've lost a few games, but we've got some wins on the board, and that's the main thing that matters. That, of course, means I can't be disappointed in it. However, it has been a bit of a drop-off on the quality that we had earlier in the year. It has been a bit up and down as well. We win a game, we lose a game. It's kind of been a bit up and down. This month in February in particular has been a bit rough. We've played 6 games, only won 2 of them. It's been an even split of wins, draws and losses. But we're still doing okay in the league. Looking at the league table, we're still third because Atletico Madrid have still been kind of stuffing up themselves as well. They've got exactly the same record as us. We're leading them, I believe, based on goal difference. Certainly looking at that, I would assume it is. I don't know whether the Spanish league operates with goal difference as its be-all and end-all factor. But that is how the table is looking. And, well, I'm very happy with it, as you would imagine. Very, very happy with it. Now, we are out of the January transfer window. Transfer business was done. In terms of players out, there were 2. We finally got Andre Gomez out the door. He's now with Levante, actually, funnily enough. And, well, he hasn't appeared for them yet. And, I mean, yeah, I think it was the right time to move him on. He's still got some decent attributes around here and around here, but his physicals have tanked. He's 32 years old. He's not got the best natural fitness in the world, and his stamina's not great either. We weren't using him. It was good to move him on. Having said that, he did have a decent season when he did play for us, but Henrique kind of came in over the top of him. But we then put the business in right at the end of the transfer window. Business number 1, a permanent centre-back signing. Caleb Bacoli, we signed him from Atalanta. He's only played a couple of times, and both of those times have been off the bench because we are still getting him fully fit. He wasn't fit when he came. His match sharpness is still quite low, so we need to put a bit of work into getting him into the side. But I think this is a signing that really could work for us. He's our second best defender already. I think this is one of our forever centre-backs. Even if he's not a guaranteed starter, I think it's one of our forever centre-backs. And then we signed a backup defensive midfielder because Danilovic has been injured. This guy could be one to look at for the future because we have got a release, well, not a release clause, but we've got a future fee agreed already. He's not necessarily the best right now, but at 24, he has got room to grow. Tim Breithaupt. Sure, I'm going to go with that as the pronunciation, but he's played a few times for us. Relatively solid, nothing spectacular, but he's coming to fill a gap in the squad that we've had because of the injury to Danilovic. But all of that leads us to today's game against Deportivo. Well, we're Deportivo La Coruña, Stu, goodness me. Against Athletic Bilbao, who are currently 11th. Not having a good season, Bilbao. We're hoping to add to that. So, this is the 11 we're going to be using for this game. It is Martin in goal, Trilli, Carrillo, Kumbula and Vasquez in defence. Breithaupt, I'm going to get his name wrong completely. Breithaupt and Enrique in midfield with Cruz, Torre and Jota supporting Ferry up front. Reason why Ferry's up front, Esposito's just come back from an injury, well, an illness I should say, but also he's not been on the ball as much as he normally has been in recent games, so I'm kind of proving a bit of a point. And also Ferry, as you can see, he's got 10 goals this season. He's actually, as a backup striker, done a good job when he's been called upon. So I'm kind of repaying the faith with the start today. That's what it feels like. We have had a number of injuries. We are getting better though. Furyk has just gone out with a little injury and Danilovic is nearly back as well. But we have had quite a number of injuries which have led us to having to rotate the team about. You can read into that what you want to in terms of how we've been playing and what the results have been. But we'll go into the game and we'll see whether we can get another 3 points and really start to hopefully distance ourselves from Atletico Madrid and cement ourselves in the Champions League spots, which would be nuts. Or we'll get battered, and in the battering, Atletico Madrid will eventually overtake us. Who knows? Who knows? But we'll see what happens. Let's get into it. I think the last time we played Bilbao, I think it was a draw. I can't remember 100%, but it was at their place. So this time, if we got a draw last time, you would have thought we would be the ones on top. And in terms of the match stats so far, we are, but we're not really doing much with it. No highlights as of yet, which is, I'm not going to say concerning. It's not concerning, but I would have liked at least one. I'm a bit surprised even they've not had one because, I mean, they are objectively a better team than us when you look at their playing personnel. Better goalkeeper, their defence is going to be better than ours. Nico and Iñaki Williams are better than any player that we've got. I mean, maybe Esposito could be excluded from that, but probably not. But that's half time. That is the most uneventful half of football there could have possibly been. I mean, we had decent match stats, but that was kind of it, really. I mean, the attacking line really haven't done a lot. I'm still yet to fully work Jota out because we've had a good game from him every now and then, but that has been it, really. Vasquez hasn't done very well. He's on a yellow card, as is Carrillo. I mean, Kumbula's the only person who's covered himself in any sort of glory. I mean, Braithwaite hasn't really done a lot either, and Trilly as well. We'll just give those guys a bit of a word of warning and get back into the game. Goalkeeper, Danny Martin. We actually dropped him for a few games. He's come back in now because the backup goalkeeper, in the nicest way, isn't any... He's not the level that he's at. Not that he's a spectacular goalkeeper, but he's what he is. And the backup goalkeeper we've got is a level below. Did okay in a couple of games, but also didn't do well in a couple of others as well. So we're back to Martin now. And, well, I mean, he's had some decent games. He's had some awful games as well. So it is what it is. Right, Enrique. We're on a highlight, by the way. I should be more excited about the fact that we're on a highlight. We did have the ball for a second, but we've given it away. Williams now. I don't know which one that is. I'm going to assume it is Nico because he plays out wide. He's certainly playing out wide today. Now, that's going to be Iñaki Williams, who's broken through the line. I mean, he's had worse clangers than that. That's the thing with Martin. Just comes out too early. He just dives away from the ball. He dives away from the ball. If you look up in the dictionary what a goalkeeper is supposed to do, that is the opposite of what a goalkeeper is supposed to do. Yikes. Oh. That's how if we lose this game because of that, I'm going to be cross. I don't mind us losing against Athletic Bilbao. They should be a better team than us. But if we lose because of that, I'm going to be livid. Right, Jota now. Can he cover himself in a bit of glory? Gets it to Torre. Lovely pass into Ferry. And Ferry puts it wide. With how he's been playing recently, I can't bet my house because I rent it. But if I owned a house, I'd be tempted to bet it on him. I would then be homeless. So I'm kind of glad I don't, in fact, own a house. My girlfriend would also kill me. Right, we now have the ball. We now are in a bit of a desperate situation where we need to... I mean, Danny's on the 6.3. That shows you how bad a clanger that actually was. We have possession, though, which might mean we can build forward. We just give the ball away. Or, you know, we could just give the ball away and not do anything with it as well. That's also an option. Although, I thought Vasquez was going to get himself sent off there. But we've given possession away again. And I think this is going to be 2-0. It's got the feeling of that. No, to be fair, Danny does a half-decent job. Defence clears it away. But they end up with possession again. Right, we need to do something off the bench. We haven't got many minutes left to do it. I am actually going to take Carrillo off. I think it's safe to say Carrillo is out of his depth at this level. He actually played at right back the other day and did okay. So I might consider making him a backup right back maybe. Cruz has been awful since he's come back from injury as well. So we'll bring Zardas on. Not that I think he's going to do a decent job. And I'm also going to move Torre out wide. We're going to bring on Navarro, who, to be fair, unlucky to miss out today. He's actually been in decent form recently. And then I'm going to take Ferry off for Esposito. not really much else we can do. There's one sub left. I'll leave that for a couple more minutes. But I think this is going to be a 1-0 loss. I'm also going to go attacking. And I'm going to fire the boys up. And then we'll make that final change. I'm going to bring one of the lads on a yellow card off. We'll bring Braithwaite off. Not a great introduction to the series for him, if we're honest. But it is what it is. Now, the January transfer window, I did actually try and address something which I am painfully aware of, which is the amount of loan players we've got. I did try and bring in a number of pre-contract players. The problem is all the players I'm looking at, they're so expensive on their wages and we can't afford it. So we're going to be bargain hunting in the summer to fill those gaps and maybe loan hunting again. But I do want to try and reduce the amount of loan players we bring in. That was part of when we brought Okoli in. That was part of the kind of way there. But he was really the only player that we could properly bring in. And then, of course, part of answering that was then me bringing in a loaned defensive midfielder because my name is Stu. I think by now you're familiar with my work. So we do need to work on that in the summer. If we get into a European competition, I'm hoping we'll get a hefty transfer budget. When I say hefty, I'm talking within the reason of Deportivo La Coruña here. I'm not talking hefty in terms of like a big club. But then if we manage to squeak into the Champions League, we're currently in a Champions League spot right now. If we stay where we are, I don't know. Maybe I'm quite hopeful. Zardas is there, and Zardas has gone and equalised. In the 88th minute, the substitute, who normally is the one with the assists, has gone and put it in the back of the net. We get a goal back towards the ends. We might have just salvaged this and got a point. Vasquez with a lovely cross here. Wonderful stuff from him. And I wouldn't have put Zardas down as being an aerial threat, but he's gone and done it. And we are now level. Dominated the game, by the way, in terms of the amount of shots we've had, in terms of XG. Possession, not so much. Our passing has been lacklustre, but we have left this with a point. And that is the only thing that really matters to me on that regard. It does enough to currently keep us third, but Atleti have got a game in hands. You'd expect them to win their game. I don't know who it's against, but I would assume they're going to win more games than they don't. Yeah, I'm expecting us to go down to 4th in the next game, if I'm honest. I mean, we're also then not far behind Celta Vigo, which is concerning, as you would imagine. Right, I'm going to play the next game off camera. The next game is against Las Palmas, because we're then going to come back for the second leg of not the Super Cup, but the Copa del Rey against Espanyol. We drew that in annoying fashion. We were 1 goal up, 1-1, 2-1, and then after 26 minutes, nothing happened until they equalised in the 88th. So, at home, I'm hoping we can do a bit better than that, but we're going to go into that full of vigour. We're going to go into it full of confidence from a 1-1 draw, and we're going to try and do football things and try and do a good job. Or bottle it. That's an option as well. Oh my word. Another frustrating result in this current period that we're having. It's been a while since we've had one like this, to be honest, on any of the saves. And it's just, attack-wise, we're fine. It's just defence. And we knew our defence was our weakest area, but I'm hoping that, I think fullbacks and goalkeeper, they're the main areas we need to strengthen. Maybe one top-quality central defender. But I think Kumbula and Okoli are going to be a good pairing going forward once we hit next season, when we can get both of them with a proper pre-season under them. But yeah, Esposito with 2 goals. Could have had a hat-trick, but didn't. Went in the second half. 2 sloppy goals. They ended up dominating us, really, for the most part. Very disappointing to have that result against Las Palmas. As things stand, Atletico Madrid are bottling things a little bit. Celta Vigo have gone ahead of them, but Madrid do still have a game in hand and could go ahead of both of us, actually. So it's still all to play for, really. I mean, we're still technically sort of in a title challenge. So, yeah. Can't say that with a straight face. Right, let's get to the second leg of the Copa del Rey semi-final. This is the 11 we're going to be using. It is Martin in goal, Carrillo, Okoli, Kumbula and Vasquez in defence, Alexander and Orellana in midfield, with Zardas, Navarro and Torre supporting Esposito up front. Rung a few changes. Those changes include, where is he? Trilly and Wanlu, both of them not starting. I think we're going to very much be happy to see the back of Wanlu. He's not performed for us at all this season. Trilly's been up and down, but we're going to give him a rest. Because again, Carrillo, I've only played him a couple of times as a fullback, but he's done okay in both of those. I was very much going to be starting Stankovic. The reason why I'm not starting Stankovic, he says, is he's still got the B team loaded, is because he's injured. Which is really frustrating, because he was going to play. He can't now. So Martin gets a game as a result of that. I'm giving Okoli a bit of a risky start as well. Didn't play well last time. He did play against Las Palmas, but we're going to give him a game alongside Kumbula. Or do we bring in, you know what, immediate buyer's remorse. Longlay's coming in. He's been the best defender that we've had this season. But I'm going to keep a collie in there. I just feel like we need to give him game time. It's a bit of a risky game to give him that game time in, but yeah, I love a gamble. Furich is injured, but I have given him an injection so he can play a part in this game. He has picked things up in recent times. A very, very sneaky look at his current form. He's had a little period there where he's been good. Had a period here where a couple of games weren't great, but he had a couple of good games without actually getting a goal or an assist. Like, he's had some good periods. He's just injury prone. That's just the issue with him. So we've given him an injection. We'll see how he's getting on. I mean, the injury that he's got, it doesn't actually say what it is, but he's literally, he can play tomorrow. So I'm okay with using him if we need to, but we're going to go with that as an attacking front three to begin with. Henrique is not doing it for me at the moment, so Orellana, who's got 4 assists to his name, is going to go in instead. So let's just go for it. Remember, it is 2-2. I don't think there's any such thing as away goals in this, so we'll just see what happens, and we'll just hope for the best, shall we? And that's all we can really. That's all we can really do. So that's what we're gonna do. Fingers crossed. We don't balls it up. I had a quick knock at the door that I had to quickly go and answer before this game got underway. But we are now underway. As you can see with the scores at the top, 2-2 on aggregate. Let's just hope. Oh, God. Let's just see whether we can get through to what would be our second final in a row in this competition. And remember, last season, we only lost on penalties. I mean, God, I think we're a better team than last year. So maybe, just maybe, we can do something. And Esposito going so close there to opening the scoring in the second minute. Very close, but nothing doing. But with some lovely link-up play there from some of the midfielders. Torre having a great time on that right-hand side. If we can try and keep Torre next season, I'd be delighted. And, I mean, I feel like he's having more and more good games out on that left-hand side. So, maybe we look next season to move Jota on. And if we move Jota on, maybe Torre goes there instead. I mean, I think Jota was an investment. We brought him in for free. If we can get, well, I mean, any amount we sell him for will be profit. So, if we can sell him, I'd be really happy to make some money on him. Sorry, my phone is going a little bit crazy underneath me. I don't really know the reason why. I've just put a shopping order in as well, so it's probably doing that. Not that you need to know that while I'm trying to entertain you with a bit. I say entertain, that's probably a strong word, but I'm trying to make a video for you to watch while you're probably doing something else in the background. Let's be completely honest with how these things usually work. I'm happy with how we've played, but I'm not really happy with this passing here that we're letting them do. And there is Espanyol putting themselves in the lead, and it's another comeback job we need to try and do. I'm going to demand more from the boys because that really wasn't good enough. And I don't really know whether Danny's going to be at fault for that necessarily, but it wasn't great. And, well, we need to step things up a little bit now. But we do have an immediate highlight, so maybe we can instantaneously respond, or maybe not. I am toying with freshening things up with the midfield. I don't really know exactly how I want to do that, but I'm thinking maybe something along the lines of just changing the shape of the midfield. Maybe a 4-3-3 with a holding midfielder. I know in theory that means it's worse because we haven't got as much defensive cover as possible, but I tell you what, Navarro may be coming good at the right time. Again, he's had a few games recently where he's played a little bit better. He's just gone and equalised for us and made it 3-3 overall, 1-1 on the nice. I am wondering whether maybe just having a half-back or a defensive midfielder, ball in midfielder, whatever it is, just bang in the middle. I'm just wondering whether that will just balance it out a little bit better, because at the moment, and I've done this with different teams, and it's never really been that big a problem, but I've got a defensive midfielder on one side and a supporting midfielder on the other. And normally it doesn't seem to have that much of an issue, but I just wonder whether maybe changing the balance might work. Obviously, better players will help as well. But I don't know. I think maybe we'll just freshen things up a little bit. But I don't know whether to do that now or hold off until the pre-season. I'm thinking holding off till the pre-season. I'm also thinking maybe a couple of central midfielders getting forward will be better than having the attacking midfielder. Because the attacking midfielder feels like sometimes he doesn't really know what he's doing. And it feels like the one problem position that we've had. Occasionally we'll have someone with a good performance, but we're struggling to get real consistency there. And it's a huge deflected effort. And Jandro Orellana has gone and scored his first goal for the club. And he's gone and put us in the lead in the semi-final. In the league? Goodness me. He's put us in the lead. It's a deflected goal though, but he will still claim it. Right, Zardas does some really good work here. Goes round his man beautifully. And it comes through the pack. It's hit. It's straight at the goalkeeper, but the deflection takes it in the other direction. And Jandro Orellana, who when we signed him, I've got to admit, I've got a bit dry skin on my lips, sorry about that. I got to admit, it was a bit of a forgotten man, especially when we signed Enrique, but actually when we ended up using him due to a lack of options, he pushed Andre Gomez out of the way. And although his star rating is lower than Enrique's, he's been more effective in recent times than Enrique. So he deserves that. He really, really does. Excellent work. And we now lead in the game and the tie overall. And Zardas now looking to put the cherry on top early on. He can't. Carrillo's forward though. And somehow it's ping-pong through. And Robert Navarro's got a second. And Carrillo, I don't know what he was doing around the edge of the middle of the penalty area. He's gone and got an assist as well. Like his third game as right back for us. Massive ping pong here. Carrillo goes for it, by the way. This is not a pass. But he ends up ricocheting down to Navarro. Ends up being 3-1. Lovely stuff. Very, very happy with that. It's the dreaded 2-goal lead, but I feel like we can breathe a little bit now. We've dominated them in this first half, other than their first opening goal. And a couple of chances we've seen on highlights. Looking just purely at the match stats, we've dominated them. And it's a lovely thing to see. Right, Pablo Torre now. Looking to get the ball forward again. Jandro Orellana back to Torre. They've heard me talking about the formation. And they want to keep this formation. Esposito's picked up a knock, you know. Which is a bit of a concern, because I don't think we've got another backup striker. Actually, no, he's very fit. Ferry might be fit again. Yeah, he is fit again. I forgot. Let's have a quick look at Esposito. A great first half from us, but let's have a quick look at Esposito. He's playing well, but he's got a knee injury. We're not risking him. Ferry's coming on. I'm not risking Esposito. Let's take him off. Let's rest him. We'll bring Ferry on. We know Ferry can do a job for us from the bench. Let's just bring him on. Let's not take any risks. Right, whipped in. Lenglet's there. Right, Akoli back to Pablo Torre, and I thought Torre was about to stick that in. I mean, it would have been, of all things to get, an assist for Akoli. And I am going to go between calling him Akoli and Akoli. I am going to switch between those two. Lovely stuff. And, I mean, I'm nervous until we get another goal. I will continue to be nervous. Unless we get into the last 10 minutes and we're with this score. And even then, I'll still have a little bit of a twitch. Just a little bit. It'll be fine. Ball coming through down the right hand side here from Espanyol. I'd like us to take the ball off of them, because as we know from the opening, they are a dangerous team. We do head it out though, and it's actually going to be Zardas. Not a lot of pace in him, but he is going to take the ball away. He's managed to do his man there and come inside here. He's got space and players to aim at. Goes to Torre. Torre now. Torre looked like he was waiting for someone to make a run. No one did. The long shot was decent. It ended up being saved. But it's led us into a counter-attack for Espanyol. But nothing ended up coming of it. And it is now a goal kick to Espanyol in the next highlight. Oh, that was breathless. Right. Navarro can't get on the end of it. Imagine if Navarro gets a hat-trick today. Oh, I'd love that. Oh, I'd really, really love that. Right. Espanyol on the ball, looking to do something with it, looking to try and get a goal back, to try and get themselves back into the game here. They are starting to pass the ball around quite nicely. We're closing them down, and we do it well. And Navarro now on the ball to Ferry. Ferry gets to Torre. Torre looking for options as he runs forward. Not running forward with much intent, but he does get it to Vasquez eventually. Now to Navarro again. Into Torre. Torre bursts into the box. He's tackled. He's down. Ferry's there. Nothing's given. We don't get the opportunity that we thought we were going to get there, but Vasquez still has it on the outside. Lofts it in, looking for Zardas with a header. It hits the crossbar. Torres can't get on the end of it. It's cleared out, and Insigne with Espanyol puts it out for a throw-in. What? What was that? Right. Civilised. Substitutions. Let's freshen the team up a little bit. No one's absolutely knackered, but we will bring some fresh legs on. Zardas, I think, has played better than a 6.8, but we'll bring him off. I'm going to bring few... No, do you know what? I'm going to bring Cruz on. He's had a poor run of form recently. Let's bring him on at the end of this one. Fresh legs. Let's see if he can get back in. I'm going to keep Akoli and Longley on because they're doing okay. I don't really see a need to change them at all. Alexander, I'd like to bring off, but Braithwaite hasn't really impressed me that much. I feel a bit risky bringing him on. But then Alexander's played a lot of football, so I'm going to do it just because I think it's the right thing to do to rest Alexander. It might be the wrong thing to do, but I'm going to do it, and then we'll save the last couple of substitutions just in case. Because remember, all they need is 2 quick-fire goals. We're going to extra time, and the fresh legs would really help with extra time. Right. Into the 72nd minute with a highlight. Vasquez with a corner, looking for the head of Akoli and Carrillo. And it's Alvaro Carrillo who we move to right back. He's having a sensational game. He's got an assist and he's just got a goal. And we've got that third goal the 3-goal cushion that I was on about. The 4th goal overall in the game. But we've now got that 3-goal cushion that makes me sit back and relax a little bit. Akali was there. I think Akali did a great job in distracting the defenders. And Carrillo just runs in, gets his head on the end of it. Thank you very much. I will have that goal. And we are on our way to a Copa del Rey final. And now we can breathe. Nacho Ferry's picked up a knock as well. I can't have both of my strikers injured. Can't have both of my strikers injured. Behave. Right, Vasquez is going to come off. We're going to bring him off for... Do you know what? I'm going to make Longley left back, because he can do that. And I'm going to bring on Kumbula and get him some minutes as well, because he has been complaining about not playing as often as he should. I kind of agree. And that makes, I think, a really strong back four. It's a back four of central defenders, but, well, we'll skip over that. We'll skip over that. And then for my final trick, I don't want to take Navarro off, really, because he's played well. So I'm going to take Orellana off. As good a game as he's had, I'm going to bring Enrique on for the last few minutes just to see the game out. There's no pressure on him. No pressure on Kumbula either, really, because of the gap. We just need to keep... Look at the match momentum. The match momentum is a thing of beauty. Right, it is a throw into Espanyol. I'd like us not to concede any more goals. I don't want any extra pressure being put on us, but it hopefully won't be the end of the world if it happens. Right, ball out wide. It's to no one, though. The run from Luismi Cruz just was pointless. Again, he's just dropped off a cliff. He was playing so well at one point in the season. He's just dropped off since he had that injury. Right, Navarro now. Out wide to Cruz. Can he redeem himself? Back into Navarro, who he's tired but on a hat-trick. Is he going to go for it here? He might do, you know. He might do, you know. And he's gone and got a hat-trick. Robert Navarro started the season quite well when we signed him. Took a little bit to get going, but then did start quite well. Disappeared for ages. Just was on the pitch but wasn't there, if you know what I mean. And he's just gone and showed up in the semi-final when we're level. And he's gone and banged the hat-trick in like it's nothing. While he's tired as well. He's knackered and he's gone and scored a third. I wish I had a sub now because I would take him off. But he's gone and got his hat-trick. Cruz has got an assist as well, which I'm actually even happier about. And what a way to get yourself into a final. What a way to potentially turn around a rotten bit of form as well. I'm really happy with that. I don't know if you can tell. I'm really happy with that. Well, goodness me, we are in the final 2 years in a row. This is becoming our competition, even though we haven't won it. This is becoming our competition. Saw that 7-3 on aggregate. I am chuffed to bits with that as a score. 5 to 8 days for an injury for Esposito. Furyk is out for a day, but he'll be fine for Batiste, which is our next game. Navarro, I mean, if we can afford him, he might be coming in if he can continue that form until the end of the season. Goodness me, what a performance that is from him. And he's got all the potential in the world as well. Well, what a performance that was. He's only scored 7 goals all season. And he's only scored 3 in the Copa del Rey. And they were the 3 you just saw. Delighted. Delighted with that as a performance. Absolutely delighted. Right, when are we going to be back? Well, I mean, we've got a Copa del Rey final to play. I feel like it would be rude if we didn't come back for the Copa del Rey final. So we're going to come back for the Copa del Rey final. And I don't know who else we play. I don't know who we're going to be playing in that, to be fair. Who are the teams in for it? It's Barcelona and Real Madrid. Shall we accelerate forward? I'm gonna let my assistant do the press conference. Shall we accelerate forward and see who it ends up being? I am just going to quickly give the players who played a rest. They're not playing it till the 80th. Well, I tried for you. I was going to see whether it's going to be them or Barcelona. We're just going to have to wait and see, and then we'll see who it is in the next video. But we will be back for that Copa del Rey final. We'll tie it in with another game around that as well. Maybe we'll play Almeria just before it. Sure, let's call an audible and let's say we're going to do that. Poor boy, 2 years in a row it's a final. Last year it was Girona who beat us, of course, in the final. That I'm only just about over after losing on penalties when it got to the goalkeepers. But this year, we've got one of the real big boys, both of whom we've beaten this season. That's going to make it a little bit spicy. Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed, again, don't forget to leave a big like on the video for me. Do not forget to subscribe as well. It is completely free to do so. You'll make me really happy. What's not to love? I've been Stu, you guys have been awesome, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.